Hello, ladies, and welcome back. And today it's going to be chit chat style because I'm going to be painting my nails. And of course, what lady doesn't love to chat and get her nails painted? So I'm going to paint my own nails. I'm going to try and sort of balance a little bit on my knee so that we can see what I'm doing. So last night I put a base coat on, but I think I'm going to do a double base coat because my nails are not, they're quite ridgy, let's put it that way. I think I'm going to let's do a double base coat. And I think today it will just be chatting about all the things that we ladies over 40 tend to struggle with. I posed that as a question on my TikTok this morning, and I already got an answer. And the one lady said belly fat, which of course I think every woman over 40 mentions that. And so an informal answer to that question is, and this is as always, everything is my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, we might think that we have excess belly fat, but it's all over. The fat is all over, ladies. We don't just gain in one area, and we can't just lose in one area. And now I know, I can hear you. You are saying that it seems for sure like the fat is gathering in your belly, and I hear you. I feel the same, but I know what it is because I've been on stage. I've competed in bodybuilding shows where you get up on stage in a bikini. Not that I'm a bodybuilder, but there's always a very feminine section called bikini in these bodybuilding shows. And I have dieted and trained like a bodybuilder. I've never really taken it too seriously, but every bodybuilder knows there's no such thing as spot reduction. And it would stand to reason that you don't just suddenly start to put weight on in one area just because you're over 40. So I know it seems like we are gathering excess weight around our midsection, but here's my theory on this, and hear me out. We're gathering weight all over the show, but of course we look down and we see our stomachs, and it's the most noticeable area to us. And because as females, our bellies are where we carry our children, it's where the muscles have loosened. It's gravity takes hold of our belly just like our breasts. And so I think what happens is that we're assuming we're gathering excess weight in our bellies, but it's going everywhere: our hips, our butts, our thighs, our arms. And I say that because I can see it on myself. When I gain weight, it is everywhere. My butt gets bigger, my thighs are wider, but I notice it the most on my belly because that's where you're trying to button up your jeans. That's where your waistband is. It's where you look down. It's where immediately you cannot see your abs if you ever had abs. It's where your hip bones suddenly get hidden by the belly fat. So it's the belly that we notice. And because also with age, our muscle tone gets laxer and our bellies protrude forward. I mean, if our bellies were on our backs, we would probably say we're gathering fat in our backs, because in truth, we are gathering fat on our backs, but we don't notice it. We don't see our backs. Do you see what I'm saying? If you were to study yourself from behind, you would see that you're also getting back fat. I mean, by the bra strap, there's that fat that hangs over the bra straps. I mean, I know it's normal and it happens to all of us, but getting older sucks, doesn't it? In a way. I mean, I'm also accepting it, but it does suck. So my theory is that obviously we don't really see or notice, we don't gain weight on our extremities until we are really, really, really gathering excess weight. But if you are somebody like me, you won't gather weight here, but you'll gather it here. I gather weight on my ankles too, so I can actually see when I pick up weight, my ankles are thicker immediately, but I don't really gather weight here and here. But I do gather it around my belly, but not so much in my upper body. So it does depend genetically where you gather weight. But of course, for all of us, we notice it. I think for almost every woman, we notice it in our bellies because we're looking down all the time and we are buttoning clothes up. And the way to lose the belly fat, unfortunately, I think a lot of you are not going to like this answer, but it is what it is. It is the truth as I know it, as I've experienced it, as I've done it. You can't spot reduce. There's no amount of ab exercises or crunches or anything like that that will allow you to only reduce your belly fat. The way to get rid of your belly fat is to get rid of body fat. And so what you need to focus on is weight loss itself, and don't worry about your belly as such. So don't go to the gym and try and do 100 crunches. I mean, you can. Exercise is exercise, but it's not the 100 crunches that will drop the belly fat. What you need to do is be in a calorie deficit. And I know that for most people, the word calorie deficit is like a bad word, and there's so much debate. But I will refer you to who I think is a leading expert and a leading voice in the field of weight gain and weight loss and how we burn calories. In fact, I'm reading a book now called Burn, which is the science of, what's it? The science of how we burn. I don't know what's it called, the subtitle of the book, but it's basically how we lose weight. And they go into like how we actually developed and evolved over time, and how we evolved to eat certain foods, and it goes into great scientific detail. But already, I mean, I'm only a few chapters in. Already, he's said the punchline: you got to eat less than what you burn. So it does boil down to calories in, calories out. And now I can hear you ladies saying, "But why is it so much harder over 40?" And I get it. It is seemingly way harder, way more difficult the older we get. And I think it's because our repair systems slow down and break down. And so we exercise, but we can't go as hard. We can't go as hard during our sessions. Our sessions feel more tiring. We need to take breaks in between. Slowly, our muscle mass decreases. So even if it's 1%, you've got 1% less metabolically active muscle mass burning your calories that you take in. There's all these small little changes that happen, the hormonal shifts and changes, the loss of estrogen, and that counts for the calories out part of the equation, which means that we do burn calories a bit less as we age. Not necessarily that our metabolism slows down. I guess you could say it's slowing down. But in general, our bodies are less efficient or not burning as much because of certain reasons. Less muscle mass. We're moving around less because we are more sore, we are more tired, we're fatigued, our muscles are not putting in as much energy into repair. Our bodies are breaking down from 40 onwards. So the calories out does get a little bit less every year, a tiny bit, it's small. And of course, we just get more tired and we just don't want to move around. I mean, if you look at kids, how they bounce around and they run around, they are like little calorie burning machines. So now, just while I'll get back to the calories topic. This is the SE, where can you see it there? Where am I showing it to? SE Expressi. The Expressi, I like the name, quick dry nail color. I've never used a quick dry nail color, so this will be interesting. And for any of you who've watched any of my other videos, you will know that I suck at painting my own nails, and so I hope that I don't make a balls up, and I probably will. And I'm going to have to take all the polish off. Oh, that actually didn't go too badly. So maybe the SE brushes suit me better. With OPI, I do make a bit of a mess. Anyway, so just back to the topic of how we burn calories. Unfortunately, ladies, we just have to do the same things we always have had to do, whether we are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s. It's calories in versus calories out, which no one wants to hear, I know. But it's the truth. It's unpopular truth. But because also what I find is in my 40s, I do crave, or maybe it's just me using it as an excuse, but I do seem to be craving bad food lately. Let's see. This color is really beautiful. This is a really stunning color. Look there. And so, yeah, for belly fat, when you're over 40, ladies, you've just got to do the same things you always did. Eat healthier foods so that your you are fuller on the right things and you're not reaching for super calorie dense wrong foods like chocolate, which for anyone who knows me, sorry, I'm going quiet as I paint. For anyone who knows me, you will know I love chocolate. I am a chocoholic of note, so I need to take my own advice and try and cut back on the chocolate. But again, I do exercise a lot and enough that it doesn't really does make a difference. I have picked up a little bit of weight lately. I'm sitting at around 54 kilograms. What's that in pounds? I'll put it on the screen. Whereas what was it, like a month or two ago, I was down to like 51 kilograms. And so, yeah, I've picked up about 3 kilograms. So that's about 6.6 pounds in the last month or two. And I don't know, I just don't have the energy, the mental, whatever, to really focus on losing it. So I think over 40, what we need to do also, and this is a main theme on my channel, you will hear this over and over again, is we need to give ourselves grace. Grace, because we are over 40. We are slowing down. Our bodies are changing. Oh, another thing with the belly that I wanted to mention is that because everything on our bodies, besides our bones, and even our bones start to degenerate as we get older, everything softens, everything gets more lax and loose. So our bellies, just the tissue, the skin, the fat on our bellies, everything just looks looser and it starts to hang more with gravity. And so with the loosening of everything and our muscle tone, everything, that's why our bellies will never look as firm, even if we lost the weight. So even if we got down to a nice low weight, let's say when you were 20, you weighed whatever, 130 pounds, let's say, example. And at 45 now, you get back down to 130 pounds. Your body's not going to look as firm and as toned as it did when you were 20 at that same weight. And I think that's what we need to remember is our bellies will still be softer and looser at 45, even if we are the exact same weight as when we were younger. And so that's what I mean by giving ourselves grace. We just have to allow ourselves the grace to be older, to look older, and to inhabit our age. And I speak for myself when I say this because I know that I have high expectations sometimes where I think, no, I must fight the aging. I must look younger and fight the aging process. And then there are other days where I say, sorry, did I knock my microphone? Where I say to myself, you've earned the right to be older, to look older, and it's okay. It is okay. And no one else is judging me the way I judge myself. I'm very self critical. I don't know if you are the same. But today, I encourage you to accept and love your aging body exactly the way it is without losing any weight, with the belly fat. Love it. Try. It's hard. And then if you want to lose the weight or you want to take steps to reduce your body fat, that's fine. That's fine. We all want, no, not, we don't all want to. Some of us want to at certain points in our life. That's also fine. But it's also fine to be softer, to be heavier, to pack on a few kilograms or a few pounds. There's no weight police that is going to come and take you away other than the social media people who are going on and on and on and on and on about weight. So from me to you, I say, yes, we do notice our bellies and we notice that we are gathering fat. We notice it in our bellies, but I think wherever genetically you are predispositioned to gain weight, that's where you're going to gain your weight at all stages of your life. It's just that also with gravity's pulling the weight down. So you'll notice it in your belly more because all that weight is hanging. And that's what I think it is. That's my humble opinion. And you can't spot reduce. You cannot. And by spot reduce, I mean you cannot only lose weight in one area. You have to lose total body weight because it's kind of like when you pull a plug out of a bathtub, all the water slowly drops. That's kind of like all your fat cells kind of release fat, at the same time. We have areas genetically where we store fat and where we don't, or we store less fat, but still you've got to sort of lose it overall. And then you will see that the belly does go down. It might feel like it's the last place, but it's not. If you use a tape measure, you will see that with a few pounds down, your waist will be ever so slightly less. A few more pounds down, your waist will come down slowly, slowly, slowly. And if you measured your arms and your thighs, you would see the same. You would see that same trend when you gain and lose weight. It is all over. Okay, so now I've done all the layers and I'm just letting the rapid dry top coat dry. So everything is rapid dry and it has dried rapidly. So what are the things we would need to do if we wanted to lose belly fat? Now I've said it's all the usual things. It is calories in, calories out, and you'd need to lose weight overall. And that is true. But I would add for us ladies over 40 that if you are feeling super perimenopausal, if you're feeling all those symptoms and you are not feeling yourself, you do need to get onto, in my humble opinion, it's just my opinion, some form of HRT, just to help you feel like yourself again. So if you're replacing the hormones that are declining in perimenopause, which is your estrogen, that's the main one, and then your progesterone for your uterus, and some ladies might need testosterone, as in my case. That's just because I don't know why, but I produce very little testosterone on my own. So you may want to replace those hormones just so that, number one, you're not hot flashing, night sweating, having brain fog, having all those symptoms, dry, itchy skin, dry down there, all the works, all the things that can go wrong, the cravings, the mood swings. I would say sort out your hormones. Also check for your thyroid because a lot of women over 40 do have low thyroid. Some of them, it's chronic and it's bad and we need to get it sorted out. So, and I'm one of those women, believe it or not. There is no magic to losing weight over 40. As you can see, I get paint all over my skin and cuticles, and then I have to peel it off. So I'll peel it off just now. I don't know any other way of painting my nails. I suck at painting my nails. So we just need to do the same steps, which is obviously, I think, make sure you're feeling healthy, you're feeling right with your hormones, and then you have to watch your diet. And you can add in exercise if you want. If you want to boost your muscle growth, try and put some muscle back on in your 40s if possible. Do weight training, do some walking, running, whatever it is. Move to feel good, to burn the calories. And then essential, the most essential thing is to watch what we eat. And I would say increase your protein, lean protein. It's hard to do because it does get a bit tedious to eat healthy all the time. When I say tedious, it just feels boring, I guess. Not always, sometimes. It depends on where you're at in your life. If you're busy with other things, if you're sitting at home all day and you get the munchies like I do when I work from home, then I want to munch on unhealthy things. But we all know the things. By now we all know it's healthy fruits and vegetables with the emphasis on vegetables because fruits are a little bit sugary. Try and get in lean proteins. If you're vegan or vegetarian, make sure your protein sources are quality protein sources. Protein has the highest thermic effect, which means it takes the most energy from your body to burn. So you are actually getting a little double benefit there. And we need higher protein levels to build muscle the older we get. So win-win for the protein. It helps you feel fuller for longer. And then I would say try and reduce the fat in your diet to what you need only, because fat is more easily stored as fat. And I get most of my information from what I consider to be the top nutrition experts right here on YouTube. There is Renaissance Periodization. He is a brilliant source of information. There is BioLane. Well, that's his channel name. His name is Lane Norton. He's got a PhD in nutritional sciences. There is Andrew Huberman. There are so many of them, but they all say the same things, and they are all in agreement with each other. And it's basically what I'm telling you. It's the basics, and we know the basics. Eat healthy. You have to move your body, especially also for mobility and for functionality. So why wouldn't you want to do some form of exercise? I'm not saying to exercise like a crazy person, and maybe some people think I exercise like a crazy person with the running and the gym and all that, but I really don't think it's extreme what I do. It's about 40 minutes to an hour, 5 days a week on average, give or take, sometimes less, sometimes a bit more. And I think that that is the only way. And again, as I've said, we have to acknowledge that our bodies will never be the same. So I hope that this helped to answer your question, and I hope it gave you some sanity around this issue. Just remember that you have earned the right to age to be a little bit weightier, to carry your weight in your belly, that's okay. It's totally okay. It's totally normal. And if you want to do something about it, that's also totally okay. I'm sending you ladies lots of love. I know that being in our 40s is a challenging time. It's, at least for me, it's like this is I think between 40 and 50 is the time in my life where everything is just changing. And I'm like, what the fuck? So much love to you ladies. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.